conniving, commiserating, whatever else his adjective
that's
is.
That's just the word.
Whatever.
The word. I don't think he said.
Backdoors and Blindside starts now.
It is day 107 of trying to catch up on season 4 of Traitors.
It's only been out for a couple weeks.
We're Backdoors and Blindsides, and we are chugging along in our recap of this TV show. We're a competition reality TV podcast, and we are playing catch up to be up to speed with the release schedule of Traitors season 4, and this is recapping episode 5. If you're gonna come for me, I'll finish you. Full disclosure, this is another late night recording, just like the last couple were. But we appreciate everyone binging these episodes along with binging the actual TV show. So let's get right into it, because this is a big one.
In honor of episode 5, I think you're missing the elephant in the room. To pay homage to Rob R., Matt has his shoulders out in a no-shirt overall situation.
I dressed up in costume for today's episode. Funny enough, right before we hit record, I got a text from Kevin, one of our best listeners, Kevin, who sent me a bunch of ideas for costumes that I should wear for future episodes. And I texted him back, and I was like, "You're gonna want to check out the video product for episode 5." Yeah.
Well, episode 4 was me teasing it with my overalls, and now you are in your overalls.
I'm channeling my Rob R tonight, so I'm gonna be really good looking. I'm gonna show off my shoulders, and I'm gonna be the best trader on the show.
Your sick tat
still
kind of is reminiscent of his too,
yeah.
with
he's got
the
a
snake.
He's got a snake. I have a penis monster from the best movie ever made, which is Alien.
Alien.
Yeah.
The Alien.
Yeah.
But it's both like monster, like the tail kind of looks like a snake.
Somewhat reptilian in nature.
You're my suburban Rob R.
Hi, how are you? I am becoming an overalls guy, and it's nice. I don't have to wear belts. I just feel secure.
Do you have like a zipper down there? Is there a zipper?
Let me check.
How do you...
There's something. What is this?
You've never gone pee in those overalls.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh, there is a zipper. Nice. I didn't know if it was like, woman with a jumper. You have to disrobe entirely to go to the bathroom.
Or at least like a little button with a hole or something like that.
Well, it'd just be funny if you're at a urinal and you just had your overalls down on your ankles.
Yeah,
and
just
you're
all the way
butt-ass
down.
naked, taking a piss.
These are sport mode overalls. I'm into it, right? And I'm not breaking any ground. Reverend Peyton, friend of the show, Reverend Peyton, might be the greatest model of overalls of all time with the way that he sports them. Literally, I've never seen him in anything but overalls, both on and off the stage at any time of year. Who are some other overalls people? Red from Big Brother a couple seasons ago. I think that was Matt and Jag's season.
Yeah, that's a pull.
He was rocking overalls, no shirt, a lot of the time too. So yeah,
usually you are in a shirt. With the overalls, the long sleeve shirt.
Well, it's just I got these over the winter, so it's like this is new. It's a little chilly.
Right, but I'm saying it's specifically it is to echo Rob's stylish fashion from the last episode.
Long sleeve death metal tee overalls, hard fit. I'm gonna brag for a second. Hard fit. That's the bit. That's gonna be. I think that's my MO, unless I'm feeling frisky.
Anyways, getting into the shoulders showing episode, let's dive into our post-murder brekkie.
All right, so we left off pretty much with no other choice for the traitors besides Monet. We said, because he mentioned Lisa's name, other people up for murder. There was about half and half, right? Because half the team got their statues burned, and then the other half got, were protected, basically. But out of everyone on that list, like you keep Ron, because he's a distraction. You keep Rappaport because he's crazy and so's Chaos. And we just decided, Monet was the best example. You keep Mara because she's an ally. You keep certain allies. You keep all the housewives alive.
I am sad about it because, like I said before in one of our previous episodes, I was really liking how Monet and Natalie were bonding and kind of working together. So that's a bummer that the exchange is over.
Yeah, last episode, like, we did point him out as a serious faithful, kind of climbing the ranks on the show. And it is a bummer because he was smart. He was super physical. He was going to help them win missions and
he was
get
on
them
the
money.
right scent.
Yeah, and he was a good player. Like, we don't really have, at this point, a faithful versus traitors hunt right now. The faithfuls are all kind of running around with their heads cut off, or they're about to have their heads cut off, not really knowing where to go, what direction to go. When no one has really been onto someone, Monet would have been the first to, like, really turn that into something else. And we didn't see him in any other instance share his suspicions with another person.
No.
And I think that would have planted the seeds to keep this hunt going, right? And I think something we saw last season, and maybe as the season continues, but a lot of people will say, if I'm dead tomorrow, it's this person. It's one of these people.
Well, we do have Kristen at the end of this episode. She does say something like that along the lines, which we can get into.
Very true. But Monet is murdered. It's the right play on the Traitors' part.
Absolutely.
They've been pretty under the radar so far. And yeah, the second someone catches a whiff,
squash it.
You got to get them out. And we get, obviously, like the banter, the back and forth, someone who kind of commands this breakfast and this conversation, much like he commanded the roundtable in episode 4, Colton making a big scene.
I was like, you know what? He is so fucking narcissistic. Me. I had a big miss last night. I rallied the troops. I failed. I have pie on my face. It's not a good look for me. It's not a good look for my game. I'm like, how about you take 2 seconds, you fuck, and just be like, I feel bad that I got Tiff out.
Yeah.
Tiffany was crying.
There's no remorse.
She was crying.
Damn, you're right. There's no remorse.
No remorse whatsoever. None. And then we have Kristen saying that if you listen to Colton, he doesn't ask questions. He's not curious. He doesn't feel like a team player because I think he's using people. I'm like, wow, Kristen, did you know about his scandalous alleged past?
Well, some people have to, right?
I don't think a lot of people did.
Really?
I don't think so. You think they'd be treating him like that in there? All hunky-dory? No way. No way.
Guess so. Also, who's watching The Bachelor anymore? We don't do that. We don't do that show on this.
Maybe
that's
housewives.
Not interesting. Yeah. No, the housewives don't.
I know.
Dorinda has no idea who he is.
True.
It's amazing.
That's true. And she says that she, quote, missed the window when he was dating 30 women. And he follows up, says, you dodged a bullet then.
She dodged a bullet like fucking Neo in The Matrix.
Mind you, who says this about themselves?
That's crazy.
Who says, yes, you dodged a bullet with me?
I'm a bag of shit and I would have ruined your life.
Right? He's married now. He's wearing his ring on the show. And I don't know where this is in the timeline, if this has happened by the time that it has filmed, but he has a kid too.
Oh, really? I didn't know he was a dad.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And I feel like he would have talked about that, but maybe not because he's just so far up his own ass. This man is so riddled with narcissism that, he can't take it. We had Dorinda in the earlier episode just feeling absolutely gutted about Lisa potentially going home because she couldn't get her out of the cage in time. And then we have Colton being like, Muh.
Colton is like the calcium deposits on a humidifier that's been running all winter.
Yeah, he is. Ugh.
And you can get in there with the toothbrush and vinegar, but you really got to work to get it off.
Yeah. I can't relate because you're the one who cleans the humidifiers every season.
I'm just trying to come up with good Colton bits for every episode.
No, I appreciate that. It makes my cold heart a little happier. But then he also says that he didn't want to cry over Tiffany because he cried too much on TV and I can't do it anymore. I was a hot mess on The Bachelor. Again, just milking it. Shut up. He just continues to be like, oh, I'm just so cute, so delicate, little Colton. Oh, I'm so emotional. I do the cry. Shut the fuck up, you alleged crazy stalker man.
Colton is like the torn pieces of penne pasta that get stuck to the pot. And even after soaking, you still got to get after it with like a no kidding scraper.
For real.
To get it off of your pot.
For real.
Yeah.
Anyways, Monet's killed.
Monet's murdered. R.I. Fish. Honestly, like a faithful that we would have. That's the thing is like all the good faithfuls that would be good to watch are leaving the game. Now, honestly, like I don't want to sell others short though. Eric is starting to get really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Kristen is starting to get really interesting. We see a group form. And I'm like, give me more of that. And we'll talk about that a little later. But, I'm not trying to talk down on anyone else playing the game. But people that I kind of pointed out from the beginning and thought, okay, they're going to be good for this show, have exited so early. And I mean, that's a testament to the Traitors. When everyone's getting along and everyone is in sync inside the turret, it's real easy.
Flow state, if you will.
And it's been easy for them so far. And you already mentioned this, but Kristen locks in on Colton.
Yeah.
And we have determined that Kristen could be a threat to the Traitors, and she's also potentially a threat to bad faithfuls.
That's why I said, kill her when she was tied up on the tree. But no, we had to get Caroline out. I don't think that was a good move.
No, that was, I think, one of the only mistakes that the Traitors
I think this is about to come back and bite
made.
them in the ass.
You're absolutely right. And there is a huge, I think, not debate, but there's a lot of math at the end of this episode determining what is the Traitors' best move moving forward when they decide who to murder in the turret. But let's move on to the mission. The Fountain of the Faithful is, in the courtyard of the castle, and it's not running. It's in, but it's this red, blood-looking water, which is sick. And what they have to do as a group is they have to retrieve statues that are scattered all over the grounds and return them to the fountain to restore its working order. There are coins in the fountain revealing the location of these statues, and getting all the statues back in 30 minutes adds 16 grand to the prize pot. There are shields with some of these statues, but if no one takes a shield, there will be no murder tonight. The Traitors will be blocked. Which is always, and like what I kind of appreciate that there is a challenge or the potential for a challenge for the Traitors every episode so far.
Right.
I think you need that to keep the playing field relatively even, especially when you have a group of three who are really kind of dominating right now. So we break into teams and we're digging through the fountains. The housewives are real upset that
we have Lisa and Candace on the same team.
Yeah, that's a little sus.
With Colton and someone else. I think it was Johnny.
Oh, it was Mark.
It was Mark.
It's Colton, Lisa, Candace, and Mark.
Yes.
Yeah. And
you gotta, if you're a traitor, you don't want to be on the same team as a traitor because you need as many eyes in as many places as possible so you know if other groups are picking up shields or not. Because right now, how many groups are there? 3?
Yeah.
3 groups. Okay, so now you're leaving one group completely in the dark. You have no idea if they picked up shield or not.
Do you know offhand, and this might have been mentioned, if the murder is blocked, does that faithful know that there was an attempt on them?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
But maybe that's something that like Alan says in the morning at breakfast and like maybe drops some hints.
Maybe.
Because we've already mentioned that people aren't really picking up on the hints that Alan drops every morning when he is working that into his whole bit when he walks into the room. So we are digging through the fountain to find these coins, find the location. People don't like being in this gross ass, still murky water.
I think Candace is like, how do I run with water in my shoes? I'm like,
Like,
oh, girl.
dig it out.
You would not fare very long on Survivor because half of Survivor is just having the soles of your feet sandy and wet and just running
horrible.
through. Oh, no. It's the worst part.
Yeah, the wet shoes might be like top 3 worst things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So there's not a lot of like action to recap because this is a very procedural mission. We're just finding statues and bringing them back. A couple teams, I think it's 2 different teams, find individual shields in boxes where these statues are located all over the grounds. And they all decide to leave them because who wants to be that one person?
Well, they decided as a collective group before they even broke up to start running the mission, hey, we're not going to take any shields, no shields. And it's tricky for a traitor because they want a shield to be used because they want to murder.
Exactly.
Makes sense. But listen, I also, as a faithful, I also want to murder. It just doesn't need to be me. Right?
Yeah.
Because again, I keep going back to this whole strategy thing from a faithful. You want people to be banished. You want people to be murdered. You just don't want that person to be you. So if Alan is serving up shields on a golden platter, especially when we get to the ones that have 4 shields for the entire group, you're crazy to not take those because you're ensuring your safety and you're basically just delaying the inevitable.
Well, that's the key difference is that at first we're only finding single shields, but towards the end of the mission, or at least this is how it comes out in the edit, 2 different groups find 4 shields at the bottom of their statues. And those 2 groups are Colton, Lisa, Candace, and Mark, and then Dorinda, Johnny, Michael, and Natalie. And Candace is poking around, in her confessional saying, who might be tempted to grab a shield? Colton, because he's arrogant. And
yeah, but she's in the same group with Lisa, another traitor. So
I was kind of waiting for her to like plant that idea in Colton's head so that it can be his decision. Oh, we're grabbing these shields as a team, right?
But also, as the traitors, you don't want, as Candace and Lisa, you don't want your team to grab shields necessarily, because if you're gunning for Colton, then, well, at this point, they're maybe not gunning for Colton, but if someone's on your team that you want to murder, you don't want a shield for them. And there's no really opportunity, at least that was shown on screen, where you could kind of sneak a shield.
Right.
It was so public in the open. There was no, let me rummage over here. Let me slip it in my pocket. No, It was in the ground in a box, basically, but with a grate over it.
Important to note that it's not revealed to us if anyone takes it or
No,
not.
it's not. So they don't know. Later in the episode, the traitors are murdering blindly. They don't know if it's going to take or not. So that can become a little challenging for them, but they just got to keep going forward. But again, if I'm a faithful, I'm sitting there, yes, there's no way I'm taking a shield. But then if I find a group of 4 shields, I'm like, guys, I'm taking one, and I encourage you to as well. Because at the end of the day, we need to get people out of this house because I'm not trying to share money with 18 fucking people.
But do you think it's too early to make that call? Or
you're just delaying the inevitable because they even talk about, there might be a double murder next time. So now you want your odds to be even higher to be murdered next time if that's a possibility? It's just not smart gameplay to not take a shield. I'm sorry. We can be kumbaya for 30 seconds, but guess what? We're all going to be yelling at each other around table. So what's the point?
So we successfully finished the mission. 16K gets added to the prize pot. I thought I had a running total on the show sheet, but I guess I don't.
I think it's close to like 120K.
Yeah, we're past 100 already, which is awesome.
And the fountain goes off like of my.
Oh, that's fucking. That's gross. I don't know if you want that.
You made a mark. You want to delete it? It was just a little throwaway joke there. You're making it a big whole thing. We could have just moved right past it.
I don't know. I'm going to come back to it.
Okay. I'll let you be the judge of that.
Come back to that.
All right. Let that marinate a little bit.
So we get to dinner, and Ron tells Dorinda very aggressively, I'm looking at you and Michael. That's where my sights are set.
Well, at first he's, kind of being sheepish about it. And they're like, do you have a traitor? He's like, yeah, I'm on to 2. They're like, oh, you going to wait to the round table? He's like, no, I'll tell you right now. It's you, Dorinda.
Right.
Like, damn, Ron.
Unfortunately, like here, I'm like, Ron, I would stop pointing fingers and start making friends because it's not looking good for you. And if you are playing as a faithful and you know that everyone's gunning for you, it's time to make allies. It's time to find people who might be on the fence with you. Make good with the housewives. Look, since Portia, I haven't voted another housewife out.
I think he's dug himself such a hole right
Yeah,
now
it's
that
tough.
he doesn't have an in with the housewives. He doesn't have an in with the gamers.
And unfortunately, I don't think at this point any other faithfuls are playing well enough to see that it's not Ron.
No.
And I think that that's, an issue when you're a bad faithful is not seeing when people are wrong about it.
But again, he said it previously in, I think, the last episode. He said either exonerate me or vote me out.
Yeah.
And he also says, I'm a faithful and you're only going to find out, like, you're not going to believe me until I get up there and tell you I'm a faithful. So he's kind of stuck. And at this point, he's just getting absolutely dragged along in this game on a gravel road, like just getting beaten up.
The first of many bullet points I have on Michael Rappaport this episode is just another reference to his eating habits. This is like grosser than ever, the way that he's shoveling food down his gullet. And it just reminded me of like what's, can you think of any examples of like the worst, like the grossest eating habits that you've witnessed?
Yeah, on Seinfeld, George.
He's eating like Costanza.
The way Costanza sits there and just slobbers up spaghetti and meatballs, he'll grab some bread and just rip it and pull it apart. But he's playing a character.
Sure.
That's a character on the TV screen in a scripted show. It's in his lines. Eat like you're deranged animal.
What's amazing about that on Seinfeld too is sometimes it's acknowledged and a part of the show, and sometimes it's just happening in the background.
That's just how he is,
right.
George being George. But that's the worst. So it just doesn't make sense the way he's eating in here. Is there someone that you immediately go to?
It just reminded me of a lot of gross food things. I mean, on the Rodcast we had, I had the suck off, which some people might remember, which was a contest where they brought out sunny side up eggs, and it was whoever could suck the most yolks up through a straw in, I think, either 30 seconds or 60 seconds. I was the founder of that event, and then I eventually I worked my way out of having to participate and was the officiant of the event, and then it got even grosser and turned into like blended up like fucking fish milkshakes or something like that. I just remember Sven.
Real Fear Factor like.
I remember Sven threw up on Angel's shirtless chest because Angel was walking around shirtless, and Sven about faced and spewed onto Angel's bare chest. One of the grossest things I've ever witnessed.
That's disgusting. How many yolks did you suck?
I think I hit like 4 or 5 good ones. I lost. Like, I didn't win any time. I think D-Train Darrell won at least once.
I think that's okay to lose in that competition.
Yeah, but it was mine. I mean, I had my name on it. That was like the best thing I had going for me on that show. I was miserable doing everything else.
Bring it back. Run it back. We'll do it on the show.
I'm so fucking sure.
It'll just be you.
No, yes. It's a funny way of putting it. And then I think about like, I guess this wasn't like so much, I wasn't sober, but one time, so at college, there was this late night dining place on campus, called, I think it was called Public House or, Port House or something like that. And, someone's going to remember and message me about Pilot House.
Public House is in Leesburg.
Yeah. That's the place in Leesburg. So, they had this sandwich called the 10 p.m. Mass.
Just my love.
It's the greatest sandwich of all time.
Fantastic.
And what it was chicken tenders and fried mozzarella moons on a sub roll with marinara on it. The best I'm fucked up at 2 a.m. food of all time. I've never had something better.
And I don't think I ever ate it prior to 12:30 in the morning.
No. It was there for that exact reason.
Yeah.
Came with fries, all of that. I remember getting it to go and going back to my room alone. Like, so Brian was gone, whatever.
Your roommate.
And I remember, in your freshman
And best
dorm.
buddy.
Yes. Shout out. Also helped us with a lot of audio engineering for the show. So shout out, Bri. I remember, so in a freshman dorm room, all you have is like that desk and a bed. Well, if you're fucking drunk, like really drunk, I'm not going to sit at my desk and eat. So I'm going to lay in bed and eat. And I have annihilated this sandwich, and
massacred it.
And I'm drunk and Family Guy is on, and I'm not super aware of the horrors of the world yet. I'm 18. There's still hope. I'm still optimistic. And I realize as I finished this work of art, Matt didn't bring any napkins into bed with him. And I'm too fucked up to get up. Or
right.
at least, or maybe I'm just not really willing to and I'm too lazy. So what I do, and I mean, it looks like a murder scene, right? It's the hands of shame. It's marinara all over in my fingernails and shit like that.
Fingernails.
And so what I do is I just roll over and wipe my hands on the wall next to my bed. Decided that was a job well done, and then rolled over and went to sleep. And then I cleaned it up.
On your side.
Yeah. On my side. Yeah.
I mean, you're still here.
No,
so.
I cleaned it up.
But how long did it take you to clean it up?
3 days.
Yeah. Brian probably walked back in and was like, what the fuck happened here?
Not the grossest thing that he's walked back in on in our dorm, but we'll save that for a Patreon interview show because I want to get him on. So that's just two things that came to mind. I mean, I'm disgusting. There's so much more that, I mean, the suck off is hideous. So I don't have a good track record with that. But at least when I'm around others, I try to be on my best behavior. I'm not pulling a Rappaport here.
I can never. I'm someone that has to sit with about 13 napkins surrounding me when I eat. I can never have enough napkins. I don't like things on my fingers. I don't like sticky things. Like in elementary school, people would put glue on their hand and let it dry and peel it off. I can throw up thinking about that right now. I don't want any sticky. I always have to have napkins. So, and when I don't have enough napkins or the food is too messy, like I mentioned before, I'm eating that meal in the comfort of my own home and in the shadows, away from people, the eyes. No one needs to see that.
Colton is like the chocolate fingerprint that you get just touching a Snickers mini bar that's been in your pocket all day.
Oh no!
It's
Why
really
is it
unpleasant.
without the wrapper? You don't have that thing in the wrapper.
It's been, but it's warm, right?
Right.
It's warm
So you
and soft.
opened it and then
you open it and you get the smear.
Yeah.
The dreaded smear. That's kind of what Colton is.
Yeah, he is. Boo.
The chocolate on bare hands is like what freaks me out the most. Like I really can't.
You don't like
handle
bedtime chocolate either.
No, chocolate in bed is fucking insane. I hate when the bedtime chocolate comes out because I'm just terrified that it's gonna get on me. What is cooking in your brain right now? What is going on behind your eyes?
Well, I don't like. There's no like. It's not like sexy chocolate.
No.
It's like
food. Get the fuck out of here, Pat, by the way.
Maybe Michael Rappaport.
I'll kink shame on this show. I'm not afraid to do that.
Could you imagine Michael Rappaport food fetish?
I fucking hope not. Oh, his poor partner.
Again, back to George Costanza. There's an episode where he does that, and he's eating a whole pastrami sandwich and fries and all that.
And all
yeah,
that.
That's what I think. That's just what he is. He is kind of the embodiment of George Costanza.
Yeah. George Costanza maybe. Well, I almost said he was more evil in some ways than Rappaport, but let's get to the rest of the meat of the episode.
So they're standing around in the kitchen, and Colton asks if Alan changes outfits from the time he's at the mission to the time that he is in the turret with the traitors trying to catch Michael. And Michael just goes off the rails. He's pissed.
He has been activated.
Look, can we rewind to a couple episodes ago where he's at the round table going, if you're a traitor and you're Noah, clap your hands, to Jam Jam.
Right.
Is that not the same thing?
I mean,
A little hypocritical, no?
He's such a maniac that I think he believes he is on an island and is the only one seeing things correctly.
I hate those type of people.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Colton's kind of the same way too.
Like I said, I hate those type of people.
Exactly. So yeah, he flips out and starts just storming through the castle, yelling at anyone who's willing to listen to him. He's walking people from every room that he goes into. Like, they have had enough. And this is where, as a traitor, you're watching this, and we've said up to this point, you keep Michael around because he's good for your game. At this moment, when he is screaming at every person in the house and people are walking out of any room he enters, you realize Michael's not going to get any hotter than right now. You have to let him flame out.
Yeah.
You have to let the banishment happen because he's not going to be any more use to you past this point. Because if he sticks around, he will cool off, he'll apologize, and he might make
Does he apologize?
But I'm just saying, like, you have to think about that as a possibility. Like, he can't burn much hotter than this as a faithful. And if he survives, you give him a chance to apologize, to potentially make allies, and eventually sniff out a traitor. Because Colton's been wrong, but if Michael's working against Colton, he could end up being right. I mean, we see that sometimes, is like two different faithfuls going at each other might push each other into directions where they stumble into discovering a traitor. So this is the time to let Michael go. And if the votes seem like they're going Michael, you vote Michael. He's not worth protecting anymore.
Yeah.
So because one more thing actually I want to point out, he's so chaotic that even if he is wrong a lot, he will eventually just crash into you, right?
But do people think that he has any merit behind what he's saying? Does it matter? Does it matter if he's saying Lisa or Candace or Rob at that point because he's just so crazy that no one listens to him
Not
anymore?
a risk that you would want to take, though. Anytime someone's name gets written down, it will get written down again.
That's true.
Right? Like, once, I think that's the worst part.
You
about
see that in
having
Big
your
Brother
name
all
down.
the time.
Right.
Where it's just, it gets written down once and then people feel, or it's not written in Big Brother, but
like it becomes open season.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's even worse here. So this is the time to let Michael dig himself out of the game, essentially.
And he sure does that because at banishment, what happens?
Do you want to start with Colton versus Michael or Dorinda versus Ron? Let's do Dorinda versus Ron
Okay.
first. So Ron comes out, accuses Dorinda. Also kind of crazy. Michael has established himself. And Ron says earlier, it's Dorinda or Michael. Just go with Michael, dude. Just like let it happen. Ron, sit there quietly. Like, this is, again, you're as a faithful, you're watching this, a faithful who they've all threatened to kick out of the game. You're watching this and you let Michael burn out. And you don't fucking say anything. But he accuses Dorinda to start things off, and she starts attacking his lack of questions and like interest in other people. And this is where he drops the line.
It's so good.
He says, I don't give a fuck about you and your families. That creates bias, and that hinders my game as a faithful to take out the traitors.
And she says, I've been asking questions about your family and where you live and all that. And he goes, my family is none of your fucking business.
So sick.
He's so done. He's so done.
He's out because you're right. Like, where else can he go from here? No one is giving him the time of day. This is where I wrote down, he's playing like Derek. When he's throwing out I don't want bias as I'm like reviewing suspects and stuff, like that really
But Derek
sounds...
wasn't as emotional as Ron.
No, that's
Ron's
the thing.
being very emotional.
Yes, so I think he thinks he's playing the Derek
justifiably
game.
so at this point.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I think it's hard not to be. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even going to sit here and condemn him because it's clear like he's at his wit's end and probably didn't intend to play an emotional game, but that's where we're at now.
He's just on an island by himself, and it doesn't help with all the Portia stuff. But we shouldn't even be listening to Colton at all, right? Because he just had this huge flop with Tiffany.
Right.
He had nothing with Tiffany. He was just like, I'm going to make a big move and go Tiffany. Ron had like 3 points of why it could be Portia, and it was all factual.
But Michael has become such a problem in the castle that people kind of start forgetting about sniffing out traitors.
Sure.
In the situation, even though Colton is adamant that Michael is a traitor. So let's get into the two of them. they're going back and forth, and everyone is just kind of like done hearing both of them at this point. They're like, can we just end this so that we can vote and fucking go to bed?
Conniving, commiserating, whatever else his adjective is.
That's just the word.
Whatever.
The word. I don't think he said.
I think he should have said.
So.
And not in the cute way.
Should we leave that in?
You can bleep that out.
Okay.
You can. I want like a little like beep.
Yeah, I'll
give me a beep. It's like, God damn, my wife is just off the hinges tonight.
It's like being back on the broadcast.
Whoa.
I'm kidding. No, they would just swear to make me have work to do. Yeah, they are really going at each other. And Michael takes a shot at Colton that is something that he can't walk back.
Record scratch.
It completely shifts the entire dynamic in the room. And all of a sudden, no one is playing a game anymore. And it's something along the lines of, you know, a traitor has to be good at keeping secrets. And like, we know that you love keeping secrets.
Right.
Which he says later on that it's not what he intended, but everyone in the room goes, dude, what the fuck? That's a shot at Colton being closeted as a gay man.
Right.
And once that's out, dude, it's done.
I know
done.
I know we like to personify Colton, but in this moment and
Vilify.
many moments,
we vilify him.
What did I say?
Personify.
Oh, yeah, vilify. Yeah. Fuck. Whatever. We vilify him and have these, you know, metaphors for Colton.
Well, we don't like him.
And no, but I'm saying now I have a metaphor for Michael. He is the human personification of in motion vomit. That the action of it, that is Michael Rappaport. And
everyone's kind of gagging as they're watching him.
Yeah. It's like you see it or hear it and you're also kind of gagging along with it. Yeah, that's what it is.
And here's the thing is like, I've said before on this show, I like arrogant players on my competitive games. I like people who are assholes in people's faces and they don't care what others think of them. I dig that type of personality.
On a game level.
Exactly. On a game level. I like it in Survivor. I like it on the challenge. I like those are the types of wrestlers that I like a Kevin Owens or like a CM Punk or something like that. This is not part of that bit that I would enjoy or anything that I have enjoyed about watching Michael be a fucking maniac on screen. And I'm like, dude, that's it. Like, you just signed your death warrant. They've stopped playing the game at this point. And everyone chimes in and has something to say.
Well, because half of the cast identifies as LGBTQ plus. Alan's our host.
Yeah.
You dumb fuck.
Dude.
How far do you think that comment was going to get you, right? Yeah. So yeah, you deserve to be canceled. You deserve to be banished. Absolutely. Yeah. It should go further than that. Choose your words carefully, especially when you're on TV and other people are, you know, watching this. You're an example, whatever. You do not need to perpetuate any homophobia, any racism, any of the things.
And like everyone's known that he's an asshole. Like he's had a reputation for a really long time on, you know, in TV just as a personality, right? So it's like everyone already had this disdain. When I say everyone, just like I think the general public, right?
Sure.
Had this disdain for Michael Rappaport, and all he did was just like affirm everything that people say about him in that moment. And like
well, not only are people saying things about him, he is saying things to ruffle up those things being said. Like, he's a shitty person.
He's a shitty guy. Do you think that he's showing remorse in his confessional later on? His exit interview, basically?
No. I think it is production being like, dude, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
We're going to give you a moment to apologize, and you are going to apologize and clarify and whatever, because you can't go home on that being the end note. You need to, we're giving you an opportunity to do some damage control for yourself. And they probably fucking wrote it out. I mean, I was watching him give it. I was like, okay, what does he have to say? Is he going to walk it back, clarify, apologize, whatever? The thing with his apology, if you will, he's not looking at the camera.
Ooh.
He glances back and forth to the camera. He's looking off to the side. It's like nonchalant, like, I didn't mean it that way. Come on, dude. Look in the fucking camera.
In that moment, you got to realize I need to really think about what I want to say about this. But maybe they were just like, you got 30 seconds and then you're out of here, man. I mean, who knows what it was like behind the scenes. I can't imagine it was very gracious from anyone on the production side. But everyone turns on Michael. Everyone forgets about Ron and really any other suspects in the moment. But you pointed out that this has similar beats to something that happened on Survivor that might have even influenced the way that people handled this banishment.
I clocked it immediately in the moment. I was like, I have seen this before. I have seen someone do this before. And what I witnessed was 10 times worse on Survivor.
Worse.
Huh?
Worse.
Oh, yeah. So much worse. On Survivor Season 34, Game Changers, we had the infamous Zeke versus Varner blowout. Really, it was Varner just spewing.
Yeah.
And Jeff Varner's back was against the wall. He knew he was on the chopping block on that tribal council night. And he was trying to turn it on Zeke. And he says, as part of his pitch to his tribe mates prior to voting in the middle of tribal council, he looks over at Zeke and he goes, "Why haven't you told anyone you're transgender?"
Holy shit.
And I talk about record scratch.
That's like evil shit, dude.
I have never seen Jeff not know what to say, and he just fucking blue screened. He was there like, did I just, he didn't say, what? And everyone freaks out. I mean, there's probably, at this point, it was post-merge, so there was probably close to, it
looks like there's like maybe 8 or 10 people there.
Yeah. And they're all like, you didn't have to do that. People are crying. People are upset. There's another, Ty is on the winner of that season. He is also an openly gay man. And he's like turning back to Varner being like, dude, what the fuck, basically?
It's kind of shocking no one like got physical with him.
Yeah. Well, Varner is like, oh, well, like, I work with trans people every day. I didn't mean it like that. Da, da, da. He tries to walk it back. People push back on him like, no, dude, you are, what the fuck is wrong with you, basically? And then he continues to dig himself. You think it was bad, right? The reason he is saying this is because he is trying to convince the tribe that Zeke is deceptive.
Oh my God.
And someone asks him, what was your goal in doing that? By telling the whole tribe that Zeke is transgender. And he says, to show the deception. It reveals the ability to deceive.
Dude, you're not going to get the $1 million. Like, you know that your chance at $1 million is already gone. Fucking walk out with a speck.
You just outed someone on national television. And now there's a whole blow up, and you've made people feel maybe unsafe with you here now, right?
Right. So
the thing that happens, and I've never seen this ever before, Jeff kind of snaps back to reality and is just like, what, basically? And he goes, there's no question of who's going home tonight. He goes around the tribe and he goes, right, this person, right, that person, right. He goes, all right, we don't need a vote. Varner, just grab your bag and your torch.
Does he snuff the torch?
He does snuff the torch.
Okay.
He snuffs the torch. He says the tribe's spoken. Varner leaves. And I'm pretty sure Varner lost his job because of that. As you should.
Again, like it's you're revealing something innately really bad about yourself.
Yeah.
And that's in that scenario. You're right. I mean, I think that is even worse than I mean, what Rappaport said is shitty,
it's terrible,
and
but
it's
it reminded me of that, and that was also right around Natalie's Survivor. Again, Natalie was on Blood vs. Water 29, and then she was also Winners at War. So that season was right in the middle. She probably watched that season, I would think, if you're, bookending it like that. So she was probably like, oh no, I've seen this before too, right? And the thing that truly shocked me about what went down on this banishment is that you mentioned earlier that, we're not playing a game anymore. Like Michael just made it real life, people are going to get him out. I was waiting because, again, I was thinking of this Survivor 34 moment with Varner being just a human bag of shit. I just thought, Michael was just going to up and leave. Alan was going to pull him. Everyone was just going to unanimously vote Michael because we are outside of the game now. This is a personal attack.
Right.
It's homophobic. We can't have this. But you still had people voting for fucking Ron.
That's
Lisa,
kind of the craziest
Candace.
part. Yeah, Lisa and Candace. Well, let's do that. Let's actually, before we get into the votes, I do want to point out Natalie is the one who says, let's just all get them out together. Forget the game tonight.
Right.
Right.
Because she's probably echoing back of what
Exactly.
happened on Survivor.
Like she is a part of that show and a part of that history. She probably remembers, better than anyone at the table, maybe alongside Jam. Right.
Yeah.
And she's the one who makes that point out loud, which is baffling why 5 votes are still for Ron in that situation, including 2 of the traitors. Like we said before, Caroline was maybe the first mistake. This is the biggest mistake of the game to me on both Lisa and Candace.
Guys, what are you doing?
Like, and aside from just like it being a bad look as just like I think a person, but from a gameplay level, it's really bad. Like everyone, when it's a unanimous vote, you roll with that unanimous vote, unless they're like your number one, which Michael is no one's number one.
Exactly. And I've said this before, and I've said it on this episode even, is that yes, everyone needs to go. Whether you're a faithful or a traitor, whether you banish a traitor, whether you banish a faithful, you don't want to split the prize pot with 10 people. You want fewer numbers. If I'm sitting there as a faithful, I'm like, I don't want to split my money with Michael. I don't want him to get to the end. He's out here talking like this. That person doesn't deserve to win money. Right?
It's baffling to me.
Who else
Honestly.
voted for Ron?
I don't have the full list.
Sorry.
I normally just write down like who the traitors voted for. I think it was a couple other housewives. But a lot of people also said, Ron, Michael has spared you tonight because this is, more important to me at this current time.
And people are saying that. Natalie's saying, yeah, everyone vote Michael.
Yeah.
Come together and do this big thing.
Let
And
it
then
go,
they were
dude.
still fractured like that. That should not have been a vote that wide of a
They
gap.
probably shouldn't have just voted at all, right? Like
That's what I'm
where-
saying.
Alan, someone's in Alan's ear and they tell him, hey, step in, just announce that Michael's out on the show. But I don't know if they stayed true to the actual vote. It is a majority for Michael, including Rob. Again, Rob's still playing best faithful game.
Absolutely. Especially after this
That's
vote.
why I'm dressing up as him. I'm his greatest admirer. It's not just a majority, it's a spiteful majority. Even more important to vote alongside that, because there's no you will never have to explain to anyone why you wrote that person's name down.
Right. And Lisa and Candace, I think, are just on the wavelength of like, oh, we've been saying Ron, so we don't want to switch it up.
No. Candace and Lisa, Natalie gave you a pass
Yes.
to vote a faithful out as a traitor.
Michael served himself up on a silver platter with that comment and acting the way he's been acting this entire time. Just take it.
We disband from the roundtable. Michael's out. That's the last we'll hear of him. We get a little gathering in one of the rooms, and it's Colton, Mara, Dorinda, and Rob. And the first 3 start buzzing about how quiet Lisa has been at roundtables and how it doesn't fit her personality. And Rob's hearing all of this. Fuck. This is the second day in a row that Lisa's name has come up by different people who weren't even working directly with Monet. And he's got to bring this to the group. And specifically, they're asking Dorinda, like, hey, you know her the best. And Dorinda's like, yeah, she is being kind of weird. She is being kind of weird at breakfast, and she is being weird at the round table. I never really thought of that. It's looking worse for Lisa than it was last night.
And this is such an interesting point in the game too, comparing it to other seasons of the Traitors as well, because we've had at this point in other seasons traitor on traitor fighting.
Yeah.
We've had traitors lying to each other, trying to get each other out. But this core group of 3, they ride for each other. Mm-hmm. And Lisa is so lucky that Candace and Rob are her counterparts as traitors, because Candace brought Monet to her, and now Rob's bringing Colton to her. And I swear to God, we end this episode in the turret, and we don't know if who they killed, and if that person's even killed, because someone could have picked up a secret shield in the last mission. I swear to fucking God, if they kill Colton, because again, same logic, right? Colton's saying my name. Gotta get him out. And as a traitor, yes, it looks suspect if someone's saying your name and then that person is murdered the next day. Why would that be? Oh, coming after Lisa maybe. Well, guess what? He was coming after her anyways. So like you kind of have to just rip the Band-Aid and hope that no one really reads too much into it, right? You have to go that way. But I swear, if they kill Colton and nobody took a shield in the mission and it was blocked and this man lives another day, I might have to stop watching. The show might be canceled.
Well, then I'm going to have to do it.
You have to do it by yourself.
Solo. No one wants that. Everyone watches the show for you.
Your shoulders are out.
You're gonna the shoulders all the shoulder. This is the shoulder show.
Shoulder show.
No. You're the star here. That would tank the brand.
I will begrudgingly come back for episode 6.
We watched an entire season of Savannah winning Survivor.
Yeah, but Savannah didn't stalk her ex.
Yeah, I know.
And she wasn't a little whiny bitch.
I do not think that Colton makes it to the end of this game, and I do. Well, let's wrap the show up with playing Who Do You Kill?
Colton.
And this is the one that I sat down with pen and paper and I really, really worked on. They get to the turret and they, share with each other that neither of their groups took shields. So it's still based on the, from the viewer's perspective, it still could be Johnny, Dorinda, Michael, and Natalie who took shields, meaning Michael went home with the shield in his pocket. But they don't know that group found 4 shields. Did Michael go so hard on Colton at the round table because he had a shield and he knew that if he really seemed to think that Colton was a traitor. So maybe he went so hard on him because he knew that he couldn't get killed that night by Colton, right?
But then go hard on Ron.
I'm not saying that it was the right move, but I'm saying I'm trying to put myself in his shoes and maybe as a viewer, try to figure out if they took the shields or not. Because it's not revealed to us in this episode. It will be in episode 6. Rob tells Lisa and Candace that Colton is now coming for Lisa. Here's my work on Who Do You Kill?
As which traitor, though? As
the group. I'm going to play as Rob. Because I think Rob is the best traitor, and I think that he's played under the radar, and I think he's making the right decisions, and they're in lockstep. But I think, when Lisa starts to panic because her name's being thrown around, he's got to work with them. And I mean, that's what I mean. That's why I asked you to clarify which one you're playing, or just like an amorphous kind of traitor, because I think we're getting down to the nitty gritty in this part of the game where if I'm Lisa, I need Colton gone and I'm advocating for him to go after Rob brings me that knowledge. Because again, like I just said, he's either going to keep saying your name and you're going to go home that way, or you're going to murder him and people are going to be like, oh, maybe it was Lisa because we heard Colton say Lisa's name and that's why she wants to get him out. And then Candace, I don't even know what she's doing. She's just going with the flow at this point. So yeah, I do think Rob is the interesting traitor to play as on who he would
advocate to kill or who you think he should.
Here's my line of thinking. I think you keep Colton because he's been so loud and involved.
I don't wanna.
That I think there's a good chance
wanna.
he's up for banishment the next roundtable. And I think we killed someone who was mentioning Lisa's name last night to do 2 in a row as that's spreading to more people, I think is pointing all of the fingers at Lisa, where I don't think a lot of people trust Colton right now.
No,
I mean,
well, you have Christina and Kristen. God. Kristen and Eric and Mark.
It's that
together
three is like a formed alliance that I really want to see more
I
of.
really like this alliance. Yeah. And she says, if I get killed in one of the next 3 banishments or get murdered by the traitors, it's Colton. Colton's a traitor. So yeah, you might be right. Colton is working his way up to get banished right now.
He's been wrong twice. Because don't forget, Michael got voted out because of what he said, and the whole house turned on him on a personal level. But before that statement, Colton was accusing him of being a traitor. Yes, he was already
on him, yeah.
Right? And so Colton was wrong twice. I think there's a good chance that he doesn't have the trust of a lot of people right now. He might have the sympathy because of what happened, but it's a game. And I don't think he has the trust of a lot of people because he's been so wrong and so vocal. I think that it's a combination of not having the trust and also just being suspected by others. So I think you keep him tonight, but it's a night-by-night decision on what you do.
I don't like it, but continue.
You keep, and yeah, don't worry about the Lisa chatter yet because like it's just chatter. You keep Ron. People are still writing his name down.
Absolutely.
Fucking crazy that they wrote his name down tonight, but that's just, all right, we keep him no matter what. You keep Jam.
Absolutely.
Because his name has been written down before. Also, he was called out by 2 faithfuls that have been banished. Tiffany and Michael both came for Jam at roundtables. They were both faithfuls that got banished. I think that is evidence. And again, these are all things that we use this as a decision-making factor for the traitors, but you keep this in mind when you're around other faithfuls and they just bring up names. And you go, oh yeah, well, I noticed this, you know? Jam, Tiff and Michael both said his name, and they both went home as faithfuls, right? And then you keep Dorinda, because Dorinda voted for Ron. You keep, if people are voting for Ron, you let that happen. You want to let that happen. And again, I think Housewives Strong is best for the game right now with Lisa and Candace. You keep Mara because she is clearly like Rob's number 1 of the faithfuls.
Yeah, I don't think he's letting her go.
I mean, I think it's good for his game, you know, aside of whatever's going on.
Yeah, I mean, he goes up to the turret and then he goes into the turret later.
Because I mean, at one point he's like carrying her around during a mission.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna say you keep Natalie here as well because she's nowhere close. She's not suspecting the right people, and she's good in missions. You know, you got out Monet. He was gonna make a lot of money. Natalie's going to keep making that money. If she's not getting anywhere and she's not close, you keep her around.
If you're keeping Dorinda, you have to keep Natalie to balance it out.
Steven also voted for Ron.
Who?
Steven.
Who?
His name's Steven.
Okay.
He voted for Ron. So you keep anyone who votes for Ron, right?
Yeah.
And because the votes for Ron were Lisa, Candace, Steven, and Michael, and Dorinda.
You said you didn't know it earlier.
Yes, I had it.
He does know
down.
it.
I had it further down, yeah. So you keep Steven because he voted for Ron, and then you keep Johnny because I'm going to stay on this path of the long game of keeping Johnny around as a potential scapegoat because you can call back to him throwing the challenge, his name doesn't really come up at all. He's been playing kind of in the background, right?
He's likable, he's funny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have this broken into 2 categories. Good options to murder and the best option to murder. The 3 people who are, I think, good options, passable options as the traitors to murder. Mark, Kristen, and Tara.
Yep.
Because they're truly random and they all come from the competitors/athletes category of players that has not been touched yet.
True. Yeah.
So I think you kill one of those 3, you're in pretty good standings. If you kill Eric, I think it's the best move as the Traitors. This is the second episode now. Now I flopped last time.
I am really liking him though.
No, I think Eric's awesome. As a viewer, I would love to see him play a faithful game, because here's the thing. I think Eric is playing like a true faithful, like one of the faithfuls, which means he's never going to get banished.
But listen, if I 100% agree with you. Let's play the what if game. If they keep Colton, say they get rid of one of the three on your good list, right? Either Tara, Kristen, or Mark, and they keep Colton and they keep Eric as well. What if Colton gets everyone rallied around Lisa? Lisa gets the boot. Now we only have 2 traitors. Traitors need to recruit someone else. We usually have at least one recruitment in every season. Mm-hmm. So I think Eric would be the best person to recruit as a traitor if you're Rob and Candace, assuming that Lisa goes out by Colton.
Yes, but there are so many other options at this point in the game. You know, it could be any of the people that I mentioned who have never come up. It could be Natalie. It could be Tara. You know, it could be Kristen. Like, I think that they have a lot of options right now.
Sure.
Because there are so many people who still have never come up in a round table.
I just think from a viewer standpoint, I have loved watching Eric's journey and him getting a little bit more screen time each and every episode, that I would love to see that flip where he's playing this faithful game and he gets that switch up and has to be a traitor now.
He'll never get banished. And he also makes a statement that he is voting Michael out as a bad faithful. He does not think, he basically tells them he doesn't think that Michael's a traitor, but he doesn't care. Because what he says when he reveals that he wrote Michael's name down is, "You're not good for us anymore." No. Which he's saying...
A bad faithful is just as bad as a traitor in the game.
I think it very much could have been a more personal statement like a lot of the other players at the table. But he came at it from a gameplay perspective and says, "You're not good for us, the other faithfuls at this table." Again, true faithful behavior. So that is, at this stage in the game, I think that's the type of person that you want to kill, because he'll just stick around forever, right? Mm-hmm. And I had one more note. Oh, if Colton gets banished tomorrow, maybe the next day, things could still trail to Johnny next after Ron, right? If you're playing the long game as the Traitors, I'm talking about, we could frame Johnny. Not now. You let Colton and Ron take all of the heat over the next couple of days. Let that play out. They keep getting it wrong. Then you can start, letting things kind of pick up. And then maybe you can bring up Johnny, because it's like, fuck, we've gotten it wrong so many times. If I'm pretending to be a faithful, I'm like, we've gotten it wrong so many times. We need to really look elsewhere. Where haven't we looked yet? The competitors, right?
I'll say it again, though. I don't want Colton to be banished. I want him to be murdered.
Sure.
Because I want him to go.
Show.
Yes, it's always on the show. Why wouldn't it be? What?
I'm just protecting us.
You just protect, because I have so much disdain for him that it seeps out. You want to make sure that I'm yes.
Council, let the record show.
On the show, on Traitors, I would rather him be murdered than banished, because I don't want him up there in the circle being like, "I planned this speech. I'm going to give my little speech again." Moment. No, I don't want him to have his moment. I want him to go out on a whimper like the little bitch he is, and I want him to be murdered by the Traitors.
Here's the thing is, if he doesn't get banished tomorrow, maybe you kill him then. Right?
Yeah, because like a little bit more stuff has happened.
Look, if it's not Colton tomorrow, it's Ron.
Yeah.
But I also think if Colton's getting killed after saying Lisa's name, that gets dicey. Because then it's like, all right, well, who was in this circle? Rob was in that circle. What's up with Rob?
But Lisa's name is just being whispered by Colton right now.
Sure.
We saw how loud he got with Tiffany. We saw how loud he got about it with Michael. And I'm not talking about the literal altercations he got into at the round table. I'm talking about like the pre-game before that, like building up to that, he was very much like, I'm going to take some big swings and this person, and like really laid the groundwork for it before he got into the roundtable. He didn't just drop it on them. So the more time he has someone in mind, the harder he's going to continue to drill into that. So it's not going to be good for Lisa if he makes it. That's why I'm saying I don't know if it would be Ron next time, because he is so adamant. But people might be like, listen, Colton, we've listened to you twice.
You've been wrong twice,
need to shut up and you're going with my idea. Or you can still write down Lisa, but you're not going to get the troops like you did the last 2 times, buddy, because you've been wrong and we're tired of listening. You run your yap.
Yeah. And I think it's so clear everyone suspects Ron. So
they just have to put it to as faithfuls, and as viewers, we know he's a faithful, but as a faithful in the moment of the game, you kind of just gotta put it to bed. Yeah. You have to be like, listen, Ron, we love you. I don't know if any faithful is gonna say that, because they seem to just be like kind of mean to him. But I think you just have to put it to bed. It's just distracting at this point. Either cool, we got a traitor, or we got a bad faithful out again. You kind of got to move past it.
They are pretty sure that there are 3 traitors remaining in the castle.
And Alan does say, he says like multiple, I think it was in the post-murder Brecky, he says something about there being like multiple traitors, or maybe it was at the mission, but he uses the word multiple. So they know that it's more than one. Yep,
that's a really good point. And I think that's fueling the suspicions. It's good to keep it broad, because there's so many different directions that they could go in. So again, I think Eric is the best move for them tonight. I think good moves are Mark, Kristen, or Tara. I think Colton is part of their short game. If it's not tonight, maybe it's tomorrow.
Okay, I'll accept that.
And I think anyone else is a mistake. So we'll see if they're correct coming in episode 6. We've got 6 and 7 to put in the can, and then we'll be current. I think they're finally doing it weekly, which is going to make our jobs a lot easier. But until then, whether you... Oh, wait, shit. Socials. Backdoors and Blindsides on Instagram, and we are on YouTube if you want to see my best Rob R costume. And I'm sure other costumes might come up later on in the show. But until then, whether you like it in the castle like me,
or you like it in the turret like me,
however you like your game played, true faithfuls and master traitors are always taken care of here on Backdoors and Blindsides.
Without looking. Nice.